What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Sunday, and you know what we do on Sundays at 7. Either we talk about Belle Collective or we talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. This week, I felt like Belle Collective was giving more than Huntsville. I will get to Huntsville, not a whole lot to unpack over there, but there is some conversation that needs to be had in regards to Huntsville. So, yeah, y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's season 7, episode 6. Let's don't waste any time. Let's get into these bells because it's a reckoning and a funeral. And I don't know what. You know what I do know? Letitia Pearson is a miserable ass biatch. And, just when I want to try to have her back a little bit, she reminds me of why I will not have her back. You know what I'm saying? I'll be as objective as I possibly can. But, I am biased. I don't like Letitia. And she just proved to me why that is. Child, we over here. Um, Let me change my glasses before we get started. I'm sorry, y'all. Some things, we family around here. So I don't feel like I need to be fake or anything. Y'all know I have my glasses. Those were my, kind of just regular around the house glasses. So yeah, anyway, boom, I'm back. All right, so yeah, Letitia's over here being fake, and Latrice is over here doing what bells are supposed to do. Where they at? Here we go. So the show opens with Latrice is having a give back to the community event. I mean, this is a real thing. I feel like since we're over here talking what Belle should be doing, as much as Latrice be being messy, she's also doing things that Belle should be doing. So we're having a community getaway, and we have the state representative here. That's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? She says she has Walmart and whatever foundation it is. I'm not familiar with the foundation. I don't know if it's her foundation, but we've got people being over here active in the community. Isn't that what bells are supposed to be doing? Being active in the community? Who's over there helping her? Mandy, her best friend Mandy, is over there doing the work. Selena is there. That's Selena. If you need something, Selena is there. Like, she said it anytime. Good evening, T. T is over here at football multitasking, but showing your girls some support. And I know she's got an opinion. But yeah, Latrice is Walmart, House State Representative, Foundation. This is what bells are supposed to be doing since we're critiquing bells. And outside of her being messy, she has a real business that's owned by her husband. She's over here getting support from Selena, who seems to be offering her support everywhere. Mandy, who's her best friend hairdresser, and Tambra is there. Not just showing up with a little bitty basket of, crackers, but she's here like helping get things organized. When you say you're going to help somebody do something, that's the help they need. They need you to show up, help organize things, hand out boxes. So, Leticia eventually shows up, but she's late. And when we was over here in Atlanta critiquing Britt Eady for bringing a raggedy ass box to to the donations, I'm gonna go ahead and put Leticia in that same box. Girl, you are the brunch organizer, woman empowerer. That's all you got is this little, what's in there? Girl, who are you helping with that? And when I gave during the holidays to the food pantry. When I gave to the food pantry, we took a couple of weeks of gathering things. You know what I'm saying? I had boxes of things that, I was able to donate. Baby clothes and things that, the baby had outgrown. So here she come with this little bitty hamper. Is this how you show support? Because Leticia, it appears as though if it's not about her, she's going to give minimal effort. Now, Marie Monroe, I ain't been on Marie Monroe lately. I've been actually in favor of her. But, I don't really feel like a leopard changes its stripes, spots, or whatever, just like that. So, She still got it in her. So here she comes after the event is over. Now, I'm bringing up the fact that she said that her grandbabies had a basketball game. And honestly, I wouldn't miss my grandbaby's basketball game. I'm not even mad at that. She got sons and things around that house. Somebody couldn't deliver the stuff, though, Marie. Marie pulled up after the event is over. These are things that they critique Tambra about, but this is what they're doing. Leticia barely showed up. She, passed a couple few cars, told him it doesn't take much to say pull up. I didn't see her loading cars, but maybe we, just didn't get to see that. Marie pulls up after the event is over. I don't know who we were going to give the juicy juice to, and it was really random. You know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know. To me, she had a couple few things in there. If you're donating, you're donating. I'm sure the, food will go to a good cause. But my point is, they're accusing Tambra from not showing up, but here they are not showing up. Not actually. As soon as Marie gets out of her car, she's like, oh my God, Leticia Pearson is at Taste. Yes, these ladies had a conversation. But before we give credit to Carrie for getting them together, Marie wants to point out, see, people do things in their own time. Where's Carrie? Carrie's not here. But Carrie needs to mind her own business because this is what people do. They get together on their own time. And I'm like, Marie is such a hater. Well, welcome, Lakeisha. I'm going to just call you Lakeisha. I hate how they put extra things on y'all's name. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. Let's see what you say. It's good to donate something to the ones that have less than you. You need a lot more than you. It's true. And if you have very little, then, a lot is not expected from you because, it's nice to give from what you have. You know what I'm saying? But Marie Monroe talks about how she's a millionaire even. She didn't have to drive up there. I mean, if she was going to be late, because like I said, I wouldn't miss my grandson's basketball game, what have you either. But you could have had one of them boys bring your donation. You're a millionaire. And Leticia Pearson is booked and busy and a banquet brunch thrower and an empowerer and a public speaker and all the things. And she came with a little basket of what? Just what she could scrummage out of that kitchen of hers, because it doesn't seem like you went. I feel like when you go purchase things to donate, it's very specific. You'd be like paper towels, toilet paper, boxes. I know I gave a lot of canned goods and rice and things that people, could make in bulk. But anyway, maybe she had a few boxes of rice in there. I'm not gonna go too hard on that because there's so many other reasons to go in on her. But yeah, Marie Monroe was throwing shade at Carrie. Carrie had the event. She put these two ladies together with a coach of some sort, and the lady told them they needed to have a sit down without y'all, and that's what happened. So I don't know why it's so important for you to, Marie's a bit of a hater. So, and Carrie is very outspoken. And so Carrie is not an original. She's new. I'm speaking, in my Marie Monroe thought process. She's new. She doesn't know anybody around here. She just coming here. She thinks she's better because she called us ghetto. Well, y'all do be fighting down to the parking lot. So even you, Marie Monroe, who has tried to put your hands on somebody, was down to the parking lot talking about they was acting like wild animals. So yeah, I just think Marie's jealousy is showing because she's just so adamant about pointing out the fact that they got together and it's no help of Carrie. Anyway. So after all of, the festivities are over, Glenn and Cliff finally have a sit down. I personally don't believe this is the first time these two guys have talked. I think this is just the first time they've just talked in public. I don't think that Cliff does what Latrice tells him to do. She says she didn't want him hanging around with Glenn. And if he wasn't hanging around with Glenn, it's because he's mad at Glenn for being messy and almost getting him in trouble. It's not because Latrice said not to. But he comes in here, and then him and Leticia greet each other like they've just met. Oh, hi, how are you? Good to see you. What is going on? Do they live together? Do they not live together? They don't ride anywhere together. I invited Glenn to come, but he's going to come later. They have never, that I can remember, arrived at anything together. They always show up in separate cars. So we don't know if y'all are even together, Miss Transparency, Independency. Shoot. Anyway, these two have a little talk. Um, it didn't really, resonate with me so much. They just decided, like men do. Cliff said, "Yeah, I heard you was all up in my wife's face. I didn't like that." And Glenn said he wasn't. And then Glenn proceeded to tell Cliff how he went over to his wife to support her, and he did nothing wrong. And all of a sudden, her staff was completely disrespectful without any type of reason. So this is so weird. Her manager was like coming at me all crazy, and Cliff says, "Is he gay? Is the manager gay?" And I'm assuming he asked that because we can't have our wife around a straight man. That's not going to be okay. So he must be gay. And Glenn says, "No, I don't know. Like, he was calling me sexual chocolate. He was calling you sexual chocolate to antagonize your goofy ass. And you know darn well the man is not gay. I'm not worried about him. If you're not worried about him, then why are you acting like you worried about him?" Anyway, every time Glenn tells this story, I want to, ride to Jackson and slap him upside his head for lying, because he's just this innocent, sweet man who went over there to support his loving wife in her journey to brand design and, talk show hostesses and things. They shook it off. They're friends, child. And then these two, like, do you have to hang out with the wives of your friends, husbands? I mean, wives of your husband's friends. Yeah. Do you have to hang out with them? Because I feel like, only if I feel like it. You know what I'm saying? If we go to somewhere and then me and one of your homies or friends, wives or girlfriends, if we click, then it's cool. But if not, not so much. I don't have to. Is it antisocial, introvert? I don't know. I just like to hang around people that I want to hang around. That's all. And so I'm not very good at being fake at all. And so then it ends up being like you acting weird or whatever. So if I'm not feeling your wife, like if my dude was friends with one of these guys and Leticia Pearson was the wife, she would be the wife there by her damn self, because I'm not sitting around entertaining her. But, we're going to do it for the sisterhood. So Latrice is, we're being cordial. We're being cordial. Now, if that ain't some fake shit, because I don't think for a minute that Latrice doesn't believe that Leticia was over there calling, Josh and whoever else she was calling, because she was. Because we know how she does. And I also know that for whatever reason, Latrice brought Mandy around to blow up the spot over there with Glenn, because she doesn't like the combination. These two together is nothing but trouble. And she probably feels like he gonna get, my business out in the street, because we know Cliff ain't innocent. So yeah, I guess you guys are gonna be cordial. How many episodes is left? We'll see what happens down to the reunion. Now, I did not know that Cedric had another daughter, and she's just as cute as she could be, and she's smarter than these grown-ass women. Um, Marie said she was brought into her life at 11 months old. So, I don't know if the mother was around or how that whole relationship was, but it seems like her and Marie have a great relationship. Marie, if you're going to film scenes, definitely bring this girl along. If we're going to get rid of Cedric, this young lady is very smart. And it would be cool to see, like, just like we want to see more of Zoe, whatever her daughter's name is. We want to see more of her over to the office down there being an office assistant. I would love to see scenes. I'm trying to help y'all because y'all are messing up. We would love to see scenes with, Essie and maybe her daughter Zuri interacting with each other. These people, when you're just one note, when you're just flat and you're not three-dimensional, meaning other characters besides a man, leave the men somewhere, down to, the DMs. I don't know, because just, if it's a good guy, bring him around. But I don't think they need to be that involved. But, unless they're husbands, I don't know. pause on the men for the most part. We need to see more interaction with these kids. Marie's kids, the boys are over there getting in trouble. The girls are great to have around. Selena, bring your girls around to, I guess make more dimension. Make when people say you don't have a story, you do have a story. Your story is not just about sitting around being cordial with a bitch you don't like. That's fake. So Latrice don't have any kids. It'll be fine to go let Latrice be at the hairdresser, her and Mandy talking shit. That's the messy shit we like. We don't have to talk about other people's DMs, but we could go ahead and gossip about how Leticia Pearson don't really have no businesses or bank account. Let's go down to the hairdressers and talk about that. I'm, trying to help to make this, Anyway, I like the bonus daughter. She said, what is going on with you and my dad? And, we're not together. I'm not going back. The girls say, you always say that. And you've been running yourself back over there anyway. And Marie said, it's because it's familiar. I think that's normal. I think people stay in relationships far too long because it's familiar. I think people go back, what they call it, spin the block, because it's familiar. And at some point, you have to not allow what's familiar to get in the way with what's next. Marie is at an age, she's in her 40s, so quit playing with Cedric. This little girl she was so insightful for a young person, so much smarter than these ladies are. She said, well, so what are you doing? She said, Marie said she out here trying to get, another spin or whatever it is she's trying to do. And she says she's on some dating apps. And I think this girl's name is Amber. That is one beautiful head of hair. I just want to touch it. I know that sounds very European of me, but, in a good way. I think maybe that's why it's so hard. I would never just go touch somebody's hair. And, because I'm a hairstylist, I get to touch it anyway. But please tell me, that is some luscious hair. It's just so nice and full. She got one of those afros that'll tear you up, child. And when I mean tear you up, I mean envy of it all. Envy of it all. My afro is boneless, according to my daughter. So I do kind of lust off of big, thick hair. Anyway, she told her, this is not what you're supposed to be doing, Mama Marie. Stay your ass off them apps. Ain't nobody down there but some losers that don't want to take the time and energy it takes to court a woman. Take her out. You know what I'm saying? Get to know her better. These niggas is over here sitting on their couch playing video games and being on an app. And I feel like that's exactly what it is. I went on I went on two, what do you call it? App dating apps. Yeah, I did that. Shoo, it's been many years ago, maybe 15, more than 15. It's been a really long time, maybe when that shit first came out, but it wasn't for me. I think every now and then people hit a lick, you know what I'm saying? And you just find two people that are destined to meet each other, because some people do meet on an app and get, and end up being lifelong partners. But I feel like that's rare. I think that's, mostly it's a bunch of lazy niggas that want to, sit on the phone and good morning, beautiful everyone, on 10. Good morning, beautiful, all 20 of y'all. So, yeah. She said you need to go down to the country club, down to the golf club. I was like, that is some good advice, young lady. Down to Madison County, that must be where the good ones are. And I'm like, Marie is a businesswoman. She would actually be able to go down here and make sense. Go down to the plumbers convention, or, somewhere it's going to be a big, strong, cornbread-fed man that, the same kind of country as Marie, but he got his own business. He might own a few acres. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Marie, go do that. Take her with you, because you need some guidance. And it's so interesting, because when your friend Leticia set you up. She set you up with one of Glenn's little hood rat friends that think they are YN with gold teeth and things. That's not what we want from Marie Monroe. I feel like if she had the right thing, she would be a lot happier. She's good in her space, but girl, she's walking around here asking people to find her a man. Not Selena. Selena doesn't have a good picker. Just listen to Amber. Bring Amber with you. Amber said, go down there to the country club and in your little tight jumpsuit or something and your red lipstick on, and you'll find you a man, and probably would. Black Farmers Associations and things. There's got to be things down there. This is Jackson, Mississippi. Anyway, I love her. Bring Amber back. So I was so team Tisha during this scene. And I'm going to go ahead and let it be a thing, child, because I was loving every second of this. Her and Glenn meet up. She said they haven't talked since this shit happened down to the photo shoot. That's why I'm like, so where does he live? Because you want us to believe that this is the first time y'all are having this conversation. And maybe since Glenn was so heated up the way he was, I wouldn't be in no rush to be in the same room with him either, because he has no control over his emotions, Glenn. He lying straight to her face, but they're both liars. I think y'all deserve each other after the end of this episode, but we're going to stay in the moment and how I was feeling in the moment. So Glenn tells her that Backpack Boy, I don't know his name first. What? That's not his real name either. Backpack Boy was completely out of line and he needs to be fired immediately. And then Tisha says she agrees that he was out of line, but you should have never brought your ass over there. You came over there, you disrupted things, and yes, first was out of line, but you should have been there in the first place. And I put him on a leave of absence. And I'm like, see, this is where Tisha be playing in our face. She couldn't even keep a straight face her damn self. I'm sorry. First is on a leave of absence. So is he getting paid by the hour, or how does that work? And do you put your manager on a leave of absence, then that means you have to manage everything you on your own. Do you know what you're doing? We're not sure. When I say we, I mean me. First doesn't really give me that he's like somebody that's the best representation of you in the first place. Each marriage has its problems. You're right. All marriages have their problems, but don't make your problems our problems. And I don't think marriages necessarily have these problems, because Glenn is somewhere trying to control this lady. That's not a marriage, that's ownership. She's not allowed to have her own bank account. I should not be, as a grown adult, asking anybody permission to have a credit card or a bank account. We're married, we have a joint account, and we manage money based on those type of things. You know what I'm saying? And I do what I want with my money. But Glenn wants her to be stuck in a place where she's reliant on him while he's out in the streets. Like, where is he even staying? Ugh, I can't stand to look at his face. This man first is on a leave of absence, and I'm like, child, okay. Tisha, for the first time, spoke on her boundaries, and in a way that I think we haven't heard her say it before. And maybe she is planning her exit from this clown, because they don't seem like they're really together for real. Maybe this show has put her in a position where she's ready to make moves, and hopefully she has somebody, Mr. Donald. I don't know what First is over there telling her, but maybe she's got somebody in her corner that's helping her to organize it. Her mama was trying to tell her, but she don't listen to her mother. And I don't know that I would listen to her either. She just keep marrying different dudes all the time. So I feel like her mother marrying all those people might have a part in why Leticia keeps clinging on to this one, because she doesn't want to be that. Maybe she don't want to be like her mother, having all these marriages. And that baby, he's not a baby anymore. We haven't even seen him. He's a big boy now. We don't even ever see him. Why is that? When I watch Martin, I see him doing the same thing, hanging out with his boys instead of being with Gina. Ugh, we can break that down. Martin and Gina were so terrible. When I was watching that, I always felt like, why does she like him? Why does his friends like him? We a little bit off on Martin, but yeah, people have done it. I don't know if I have the patience to go back and do a deep dive on those shows, like how inappropriate they were. But I know, was it last year or maybe the year before, we watched Boomerang, and I always loved that movie. You know, that was new Halle Berry and young Robin Givens and young Eddie Murphy, and it was bad. Like the misogyny in that movie is really bad. And the last time I watched it, I was like, oh man, I don't even like it like I used to. They're full of nonsense. But yeah, Letitia broke it down. She let him know when she was saying, I'm sorry, boom, and they kept giving her a bounce. I'm sorry, boom, another one. That was so funny to me. But she's basically like, I'm sorry, like when you came down there, I was not trying to make my moment about you. And I'm sorry, that whatever it takes to make you feel comfortable is like something that's going to take away from me. She let him have it. She let him have it the way we've been waiting on her to let him have it. He's not taking any of it in. He is actively trying to figure out how to change her back, change her mind. He doesn't know. He's like, I've never seen her come at me like this. She did it in front of the camera for a reason, stupid. She didn't do it at the house. So if y'all are in the same house, you've been walking around not talking, or you've been acting like, you went down there, I went down there and handled that, and she let you think you handled it until you came over here to this camera. She said that she doesn't ever want to see that person again. The old her that was allowing Glenn to walk all over her, she never wants to see that girl again. She hopes that she never comes back. And he said, well, I miss her dearly. And she said, yeah, because that was your comfort. He said, no, that was love. He's not at all taking in anything she's saying. Like, you no longer have control of this woman, I guess. You know what I'm saying? She got her own credit card. Like, she's making moves to do things. Hopefully she stay in this, mode, because, he talking about he been taking care. I've been holding down my family for 25, 30 years. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? That's what you're supposed to do, hold down your family. You asked for the family. You wanted the family. You want to be the man and the leader, then you was doing what you was supposed to be doing. But she doesn't want to be led anymore. She wants to shoot her shot. And he said, shoot your shot. What did he say? He said they're not on the same page. They're not even in the same book. And so Tisha is going to be this boss lady that's going after, her goals and her hopes and her dreams. Then he's going to have to focus on himself. So after everything that she said, she'd have handed him, do you want my green beans? Do you want my rotisserie? Here's your flowers, nigga. What else do you want from me? He's like, I can't believe you're saying this to me. And if you're not going to be like the housekeeper and the cooker and the woman that stays at home like you're supposed to, I'm going to have to focus on myself. As if he wasn't out here in these streets laying it low and spreading it wide. Because we know that's what he's doing. She said it in so many reasons. I don't need your protection. I need you to protect my heart. But you're the one that's breaking my heart over and over and over again. And we got to keep having these conversations. Imagine the DMs that we haven't seen. He got to go figure out how to take care of himself. Yes, please do. She'll be having this argument for the end of times because he's not changing anything. Selena, I'm not a Mike fan. Are y'all Mike fans? I'm not a Mike fan. I don't really be feeling Mike like that. She said he has a house. She has a house. She barely goes over to his house. Why is that? Why is it that you barely go over to his house? Is he not making it comfortable for you to be there? And then when you go over there, she got the key. Obviously, he wasn't there. She in there cleaning up and, Why do that? Why go to his house and clean up? That's probably why she's like, I don't want to go over there. It's just more comfortable over here. I'm clean. But you know how we do when we trying to be all in our domestic bag. So she's over there, checking and taking care of her man. Reset, restart, refocus as many times as you need to. I heard that, girl. Um, that's on her t-shirt. Anyway, I don't have a whole lot to say about this. I feel like Marie put a bug in her ear. The streets are talking. Whatever the streets are saying, Selena already knows it. I feel like for most of us, by the time the streets know about your man, um it's already it's already out there. So I feel like Marie put a bug in her ear, and now she feeling some type of way. You cleaning up trying to see if you catch anything that's out of order. I'm not a Mike fan, but I see there's something that just ain't right about him. Yeah, it's just something. I don't know what it is. You know what it is? Is because he went out of town and didn't tell her. Like there's little things like that. I feel like a regular boyfriend would do that. I feel like your regular boyfriend, not your fiance, would be like, hey, I'm going out of town Tuesday. I won't be back till Friday. What are you doing? I'm going to do such and such. Like, I feel like he's keeping secrets. And then he wants her to move into her house, into his house, and do what with her house? That's not what we said we were going to do, Mike. We said we were going to get a new house. I don't want to move in your house. His house is not an upgrade. It's like a lateral move. It would be different if he had a really nice house and it would only make sense. You know what I'm saying? For her to move over there. But she's like, why would I do that? Let's get something better. We'll put these houses up, for rent and use that as part of the income to pay the mortgage. He knows that. I feel like, in this moment, he's bringing up something that he knows she doesn't want to do. That's the type of dude. He's not going to blatantly say it. He'll just like try to subliminally, make it a thing. She's already said no. So, Mike, the streets are talking about you. That's all I have to say about that. And whatever Marie said, like I said, put a little fire under her to make her go over there. So, if that's how that works, then you already feeling some type of way. We know he bought the truck, and what kind of last minute planning are they doing? Like, who plans a big birthday party, her 50th birthday party that close to the wedding? The things that they're doing don't make sense. Unless they're not planning on having, she talking about big budgets. Selena's sweet, but maybe she's a little, I don't know. I don't want to say slow, but her picker is not good. So the Bells had a funeral led by Letitia Pearson and Latrice, whatever her name is. I don't know what her last name is. So the ladies all arrive in their cars. They're playing funeral music. Everybody but Carrie. Carrie came to be a little devil. She had on a red hair and a hoochie booty skirt. And it wasn't cute. The Latrice looked cute. Like that outfit is fire. She was like channeling Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation. And Latrice looked like Glenn's mama sitting up there with, Miss Pearl with her fascinator on. Latrice didn't even wear no fascinators. She is like, we're a part of the Rhythm Nation, lady. And that's where I'm going. I'm wearing all black. This is like silly. Yeah, she's looking like Minnie Pearl down to the bar. What's her name? Della Reese. That's what it's giving. It's giving Della Reese. Carrie, girl, somebody help her. Maria's giving Marie Monroe like she always does. She looked like how she looked. And Selena, I don't know what she was wearing. Tambra has somewhere else to be. So she was like, I guess, child. So let's talk about what the Bells are, because Miss Minnie Pearl was so eager and kind to break it down for us. The Belle Collective is a platform to spotlight women building businesses. Well, let's see who falls under that category. Latrice. Latrice is building businesses, so yeah, she's definitely qualified to be a Belle. Miss Carrie. Miss Carrie is new. She has businesses as well. Yes, we're going to keep her around. Marie Monroe has businesses and a doctorate and is currently trying to open a new location. Business, yes. Selena. Selena has a craft table down to some spot where we don't know where it is. And I don't consider that a business necessarily. I don't know. Selena just wants to help out, and maybe she's just figuring it out. I don't know what her business is, but we brought her over here. She's friends with Latrice. I don't know. Anyway, because So Gucci had a business, but I like Selena. So I wish that maybe, what's his name? This is why they can't come back. JJ, they can't come back because they don't like So Gucci anymore. I forget who she fell out with, but because she chose Akeisha, the bells turned against So Gucci. And the guys, Glenn and Cliff, don't like JJ because he chose Willie. However, they don't need to film together like that. I'm a big, advocate of we don't have to film together like that. Let's see Selena and the girls and their daddy, do something. So Gucci can be there if they can get along. But we can see some of that to give us more for Selena than just Mike, because we've known Selena as a dance mom for many years. So, let's see her with the grandbabies and all of that kind of good stuff. Tambra has a business. She's a businesswoman. I feel like Tambra may have got the raw end of the deal, and then she didn't do herself any favors when she kind of shut down. So, does she belong here? Yes. Does she need to do better about telling her story? And I feel like the whole thing with Greedy she wasn't gonna be telling that story anyway, because it didn't align with whatever it is, people feel like they need to have as, engaged and married and, then the baby. And she didn't do all of that anyway. And I feel like if this was the boyfriend from 15 years ago, you didn't want him then and you don't want him now. And I think she just was like, my biological clock is ticking. And that would have been such a good story, but it doesn't align with, the whole get married. She probably felt like people would judge her, because they would have input about how they think she should live her life. But I think a better story would be just like Destiny over here. We don't like Destiny, and I'll get to Love and Marriage soon, but we don't like her necessarily. When I say I mean me. I'm not a Destiny fan, but I mean the storyline with her family, it was real and it resonates. It's better than fake stuff. So if Tambra would have came over here and told us a story about her and this man that have been friends for years and have discussed how they both want to have a baby, I think that's a good story. It's too late to her to go with that now, because she was over here pretending that, Grady was her, the love of her life. It's not easy to find the love of your life, especially at this age. It gets harder. So, and if you're selective, I feel like, maybe Tambra gonna have to leave Jackson, but she seems very grounded and proud of her home, as she should. So this is what I suggest. I suggest Tambra, Selena, and Latrice, and even Carrie film together, things together. You know what I'm saying? We can have play dates with Selena's grandkids and Tambra's little girl, and the girls come over and have, you know what I'm saying? A little get together. We can do that. Marie Monroe does not like Tambra. And if she wants to come, she's going to have to figure it out. Now, I also remember on that couch when, what's her name? Leticia said, what goes on, what'd she say? All's fair. All's fair in the Belle Collective. That's what she said. All's fair in the Belle Collective. And we also remember, and if you don't remember, I'm going to remind you, when Amanda broke the story about how Glenn was in her DMs, Tambra was down there giggling, at the beauty salon. She didn't even come get her hair done. She came strictly for gossip. But it was fun over there with those ladies gossiping. And, Glenn provided the content. So there's no need of being mad at the ladies, because I'm going to tell you, if you're in a shop and that kind of juice comes through, they didn't run around repeating it. They were saying it to each other. Everybody knows that Glenn is out in these streets. So, she was just embarrassed that it didn't align with her, recommitment. She came over here. We recommitting to each other. Stop it. Keep doing it, girl, if that's what you want to do. Anyway, Tambra said that she talks to Latrice several times a day. She talks to Selena because they have made her feel comfortable. She said, every last one of us have come over here. Marie said it. Leticia said it. Latrice said it. We've all said that this didn't feel like a safe space at some time or another. With Selena, they kept trying to put her and So Gucci in the same, space when they weren't getting along with each other necessarily. So if you're going to keep inviting people to events, small events, let's put bitches in a sprinter van that don't like each other and then be shocked when the news, things pop off. So I feel like Leticia took this moment and it threw Tambra off guard. She took this moment to get back at Tambra for laughing about Glenn and Mandy. So, and she took a beat from, because we've all been saying, Tambra's bringing nothing. Why is she here? Tambra was the first Belle we met. And when we met Tambra, she was in her radio station doing her job, showing us, they were like, Jackson is up and coming. It's got all these cool places to go hang out. She was having her fashion show. She was hosting fashion shows. I feel like Tambra's does things. So, I mean, she should be invited to, if y'all going to show her life, show her life. That one thing that you didn't see. And now she's, I don't know, punished. She wasn't a part of that Akeisha mess either. So you said, I can tell Marie doesn't like Tambra, but she and Marie and Latrice aren't close either. But Carrie and Tambra could hang out. That's what I said. I feel like the only two outsiders, honestly, is Marie and Leticia. And we've seen this season that Marie can be agreeable if she's in a good place. Right now, I mean, Marie don't care about the what's her name? Latrice. She's not ever liked her. But they've been getting along, and we're like, that's weird. The season started with her pulling up at her drive-through business. And we said, we are so tired of that. We are so tired of the fighting. If y'all are going to be the Belles that are going to do the things that she listed, the mess will come up. They're not going to always get along. They're going to have things that they need to hash out. But you're the one over here with the same bullshit. Every single season, we get a slow motion walk up with Leticia Pearson dressed in some too tight clothes, sitting on a sofa talking about, hey girl, I've been booked and busy, child. I've been traveling all over the world. I don't have a bank account, but I'm a boss bitch with a Chanel bag. Hey, Elsie. Elsie says like the video. She don't watch the Bells, I don't believe, but she's looking out for you, girl, because that's what she do. And if you want to find love all over the world, she is the love lady. So if you have any questions, you just better ask El Cid. Leticia was coming for Tambra because that's what she does. She turns on people. Tambra was blindsided. This is not a safe space. And this is the thing. Marie and Leticia did something to Tambra. We're not finna start in the middle of the story. The story is Leticia and Marie met up with some man who Tambra had a violent past with. She said she had to get a restraining order from this nigga, and y'all are introducing him on her platform. Why is that? Why is that? Because you don't believe that Grady is her man? Who gives a flying flip? Leticia, you brought that lady over there to Marie's event and you blindsided Tambra so she can sit up here and say, I've been messing around with Grady, Damon. So why would I feel safe? I don't trust you bitches. I don't like you. So I tell you what I want to tell you. And that's why I said there's other ladies that she gets along with. It's just these two. And if Marie sees that Leticia is going to be on the outs by her damn self, she will turn the corner. I bet you. She will turn the corner and be something different. And I feel like she came over here trying with y'all too. She came over here trying with as much as she, could. She said, Tambra said, I feel like I only backed away, after my child. I had postpartum. And even if you don't have postpartum, after you have a baby, it can be overwhelming. And the pressure to be a good mom. And then, if things going wrong with the baby, like say you can't nurse your baby when you wanted to, or there's like allergy issues and you worried about this perfect little creature that you just given birth to, and the bells ain't nowhere in your mind. Now she was dealing with postpartum. That's on a whole nother level where you're dealing with severe depression and, you need to lean on severe sadness. That's the first thing they asked you after you have the baby. Like, are you feeling sad? Are you okay? Like they ask these questions because they want to know early on, like what your emotions are. Your hormones are all over the place. So who does she talk to? She talked to Latrice, who doesn't have any children, and Selena, who I feel like Selena would be like the easiest, sweetest person to talk to when you're down and, offer positivity and not go spread your business. I haven't seen Selena necessarily spreading any gossip. So I understand why she went there. Her and Carrie didn't know each other at that time. But in this moment, Carrie's like, hold on, having a baby, having postpartum, that's a big thing. And Leticia's response was, I understand that, but if I can bring my problems, and deal with the things that I've been dealing with, then, what makes me any different than you bitches? Remember, she said, I got a big back, but I can't carry all you motherfuckers. There is no way you're going to sit up here and compare your willingness to stay with Mr. Baby, where did we go wrong? Baby, where did we go wrong? You were interested in staying with him season after season after season. 7 seasons of me and Glendale are good, me and Glendale are not good. Me and Glendale are recommitting, me and Glendale didn't recommit right, so we had to start all over again. I kicked him out, I moved to my mama's house. We, not staying in that Airbnb right now. Like, same chapter. She had the audacity to say that Tambra keeps bringing the same thing to the screen. And I was like, so do you. Next season, we're going to be like, oh, I am booked and busy and I've been traveling all over. I have all these things coming down the pipe, brand deals. And we won't hear nothing about no talk show, not Mr. Donald, not First, not any of that stuff. Maybe Shantae either. We don't know if Shantae's going to be around. She's trying to press Shantae on us. We don't want it. She's not a Belle. She's your friend with a stank-ass attitude. Amanda don't have a stank attitude. We don't need her anymore necessarily, unless it's down to the salon. Like, let that be where we, engage with Amanda. But, Shantae's bringing nothing, like I said, but a stank attitude. You bringing people in there to speak on your behalf, be your pit bull, so to speak. Marie says, we're not comparing postpartum to whatever it is you're doing over there with Glenn. Marie says that Tambra wants the prestige of being a part of the Bells. What prestige? She started out with saying, well, y'all is acting hood and there ain't no sisters involved. So it can't be the prestige. She wants to be a part of the prestige, but she doesn't want to get past surface level relationships. With you. Say that part. With you. After what you did, she don't have no interest in having no type of relationship in real life beyond the surface with you. But the Belle Collective, though, what is it about? Women in business trying to level up. It didn't say nothing in the bylaws. She called it the obituary. It don't say nothing in the Belle bylaws about I have to tell you, the person that I don't care for, my personal business. We don't have to discuss that. Besides, how's the baby? She's good. How's your grandkids? They're good. That's all we got, Marie Monroe. We're not gonna say nothing personal. I don't even see Marie didn't make any type of sense. Latrice is like, so what you're saying is Tambra, you don't think she belongs in the collective because she's not being transparent. She's being transparent with me. And Marie says, well, we're not talking about personal relationships. We're talking about the collective. Maybe she don't realize how she sounded when she said that because oh my God. Tisha asked her if she wanted to be a part of the Tambra moving forward. Do you want to be a part of the collective? I think Tambra was caught off guard. This would have been a perfect opportunity for her to let Leticia Pearson have it. Miss, I don't have no businesses for real. Bank account, nothing else. I work for Glenn. Ask Pearson. Um, I'm sure she walked out of there thinking, dang, I should have said this. But, you know, in the moment, she was caught off guard. I feel like she handled herself very poised. But, yeah, I was like, girl, I would have been like, I am a Belle. So I am a part of the collective. So what I'm not understanding your question. You're asking me, do I still want to be part moving forward? I am a Belle. Unless you're saying you somehow have the power to, you know, make that different. But I don't think you do. And it seems like more the whole table minus one doesn't want to see me gone. And Carrie was flat out like, I ain't trying to put you on the spot, but are you asking her to step down? And Leticia said, I don't mean step down, I mean step up. And Marie Monroe said, what did Marie Monroe say? I forget what she said. She was talking about transparency. She just doesn't like what's the name? We're not asking her. Oh, I know what she said. We're not asking her to step down, but it's just selfish. If you're not gonna like be transparent within the group, that's just selfish. Why is it selfish? Then what is gonna happen? We're gonna wait on Leticia Pearson to bring her friend Shantae over here. That's not elevating. That's for damn sure not elevating. Not elevating beyond what Tambra has going on. So, I mean, I think that would be weird. Um, yeah, the truth implies that, bitch, you don't share nothing. So, what are we talking about? We need to take your status away, too. Um, Marie and Carrie starts going at it. Carrie is like, yeah, so, you know, you're not being transparent. What's up with that man? Is you off? Is you on? Like, yeah, Marie, you want people to come tell their personal stuff. Last part of the season, you was twirling around the room with Cedric and another man. This week, you ain't twirling no more. What happened? We're not talking about it. I thought we were supposed to be talking about things, just not your personal business or the business that you made up that don't make sense. Because we're like, where the hell this man came from, and why are you bringing Cedric back over here? That don't even make sense. Marie tells Carrie she's a fan. Carrie's like, and I am. I'm a fan of all of y'all. So now she said, I am a fan. And Marie followed through with whatever it is she rehearsed that she was going to say, but it fell flat because Carrie was like, you're right. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of everyone. I'm a big fan of everyone. So, you know, take it. Carrie said, you're not about to make me your moment. I don't know if that's what it was. But, you know, she sure was disarmed after Carrie said, yes, I'm a fan. They asked Carrie what she had going on, and she talked about, you know, her business. They're going to have to let go of the business in Mobile. And they understood, like Marie and Latrice definitely understood because they have businesses and they understand that it's not a failure if the business is losing money. Like, get out while you can. That's part of being a business person. You invest in it and you hope it works. And if it doesn't, you got to get out before, you know, it starts draining you. And I feel like that's something she needed to have. This moment right here was an opportunity for Latrice and for Carrie to understand each other better. Carrie seems like a pretty fair person, but then out the blue, she brings up that don't two of them have restaurants? Yes. Latrice has a restaurant. She has Taste. And Carrie has a restaurant. And then when Akeisha was here, her husband had a restaurant. So They understand each other as, restaurateurs. Like you were saying, they have things in common that they can talk about. Marie and Carrie are probably always gonna be at odds with one another, but Carrie, for whatever reason, brought up this rumor that the street said Mike got a baby on the way, and that's kind of where we ended it with, her bringing that in, and I'm like, I hate that she did that, but maybe she felt pressure from production to speak on that. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, if those rumors are out there, I feel like Selena already heard them. So next week we're gonna see her questioning who brought that gossip to the group. Well, it came out of Carrie's mouth. So if we're still asking who brought that information to the group, there's another piece of the puzzle that we don't know anything about. And then we see Leticia and her friend Shantae meet up with Tamara to try to call her out about some boyfriend. This we were gonna, bring everything out in the open. Like you got a boyfriend. That's what the streets say. And then here comes her, irritating friend with a picture. And Tambra, she laughed it off. I'm trying to figure out what her having a boyfriend has to do with her being a Belle, and why that would be salacious information. Because most of the time, most of us, when you have a boyfriend, you take your time to get to know this person, and then you start introducing them to people that you care about. You know what I'm saying? And the rest of y'all find out when I show up somewhere with my man. Like, this tea is not tea, Leticia. It's just an example of you running with, the narrative that Tamara is, not transparent. You ain't transparent either. You walking around acting like Glenn came over there and first was out of line. Like, let's be clear, and let's talk about how this man has, like I said, no control over his emotions. Do he run up in your face like that at the house? Because you be acting scared around Glenn. So, if we being transparent, Leticia, how about you be transparent? You just a lady that works down to the Belle bondsman's office. And I know that if you're going to rent a place, because she's come over here with offices and enterprises and all these things, if you're going to rent office space, you need to have credit. So how do you do that with no checking account or anything? So does that mean that the network production like rented those spaces for her to pretend like she has an enterprise? And if that's the case, is that why they're upholding her as the leader of the Belles? Because, your leader is flawed. So I want to see next week, like how this whole thing turns out with them confronting Tambra with this picture. Anyway, y'all, it's 8 o'clock. I'm about to go see what these darn Married to Medicine. I think tonight is the reunion. I'm pretty sure tonight is the reunion. And I'll be here tomorrow at 7. We're going to talk about the Married to Medicine reunion. Huntsville will probably slide in there somewhere. It won't be live. And I'll be here in the morning at 10 o'clock Monday. And, we do coffee talk 10 a.m. until we get done every Monday through Thursday. So y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all sooner rather than later. Bye, y'all.